They left for the big family trip. 4 cars, 17 people, one group chat without me. 2 hours later, my sister's text slipped out. Our plan worked. I just replied, "Merry Christmas," then quietly canceled the €12,500 booking. At 8:03 a.m., my phone exploded. 101 missed calls. One said, "Emergency." It must feel good not being included. My uncle had joked last Christmas. I laughed it off, thinking it was just a silly comment after I'd offered to pay for family dinner. But that joke? That wasn't a joke at all. It was a prophecy, and it hit me like a gut punch when I woke up alone on December 23rd, realizing my entire family had left for our mountain trip, without me, after I'd footed the $12,500 bill. The house was deadly silent. No breakfast smells, no frantic holiday chatter, just an eerie quiet. My suitcase, still packed from a work trip, sat accusingly in the hallway. My toothbrush was dry. My wallet untouched. For a second, I thought maybe I was late, or they were just running behind. So I called Mom. She picked up, almost surprised. "Hey, where is everyone?" I asked, completely clueless. There was this pregnant pause, you know? The kind that tells you something is deeply, horribly wrong. Then she said, "Oh, we thought you were in the van with your cousins." In the van? My stomach dropped. 17 people. Multiple cars. One giant family trip. And not a single soul noticed I wasn't there. No call. No text. No, "Hey, where are you, man?" Nothing. Mom started rambling about a mix-up, something about my cousin Zach saying I was with them. I just hung up. I didn't yell. I didn't ask why I wasn't in the group chat, why I was completely left out of the planning, why I'd just shelled out $12,500 for an Airbnb in the mountains that I clearly wasn't going to. My money was good enough, but I wasn't. 2 hours later, my phone buzzed. It was a screenshot from my sister, Emma, and it was clearly meant for someone else, probably her friend Caitlin. It was a picture of our family group chat, all 17 names, a pinned message with the itinerary. And below it, Emma's text, "He's really not here. OMG, our plan worked." My blood ran cold. Worked? This wasn't an accident. This was a plan. I didn't reply right away. I didn't scream. I just sat at my kitchen table, opened my laptop, logged into the Airbnb account, and with a quiet click, I hit cancel. The refund processed instantly. The money would be back on my card in a few days. Then, I sent one message back to Emma. "Merry Christmas." No exclamation points. No emojis. No rage. Just those 2 words. A line they'd remember. 30 minutes later, my phone exploded. Missed calls. 42. Then 70. Then a frantic text. "Emergency." I just turned my phone off. Because, see, that was just step 1. The first call I actually answered was from my dad. His voice was raw, like he'd already been screaming for hours. "What did you do?" "You canceled the whole house," he roared. "No," I said, calm as could be. "I canceled my booking. It just happened to be the entire booking because it was on my card." He growled. "You think this is a joke? There are 17 people standing outside a cabin in the snow." And that's when I snapped, but in the quietest way possible. "You think I'm a joke?" I asked and hung up. An hour later, I switched my phone back on. The panic had truly become an orchestra of desperation. Calls from Mom, Aunt Marianne, Cousin Leo, Emma again, even her boyfriend, Zach, who, get this, had somehow become family faster than I could even get a group chat invite. I didn't respond. I just watched it all unfold, because for the first time in years, I wasn't scrambling to fix their mess. See, they didn't expect me to fight back. For 3 years straight, I was the default. Every holiday rental? Me. "We'll send you our share later," they'd say, but later never came. Every birthday gift for the cousins? On my dime. Emma's car broke down. Guess who she called? Not because I was her brother, but because I was the ATM that never ran out. Mom once even told me, "You're the responsible one. That's why we lean on you." No, Mom. I was the quiet one. That's why you thought I wouldn't fight back. They used me like a credit card with no expiration date. Fake apologies and real lies. By Christmas Eve, they were absolutely desperate. Mom texted, "We didn't mean to exclude you. There was just a lot going on with Emma's kids and Zach's visa. Please, let's not ruin Christmas." I didn't answer. Then Emma, ever the influencer, posted on Instagram from a roadside diner. Black coffee, messy hair, and this saccharine caption, "Family means not always agreeing, but always forgiving." I actually laughed out loud. The comments poured in, all sympathy for her. Stay strong, babe. Hope things calm down soon. People show who they are when it matters most. Oh, they certainly did. And then I saw it. A story from her private account. The one I wasn't supposed to follow anymore. It was a screenshot of our family group chat, conspicuously missing me. And the caption? He's finally out. Can't believe it took this long. Below there was a photo of the Airbnb refund email, the one I received. It wasn't just an exclusion. It was a calculated, vicious campaign. They planned it. Knew I'd fund the trip. Knew I'd be excluded. And they truly thought I'd still pay. I checked my statements. And it wasn't just Airbnb. Emma had been using my Netflix, my Spotify, my Amazon Prime, including several next-day orders for hiking gear for her. None of it for me. None of it with me. All on my tab. Then my eyes landed on a $780 charge to a ski rental store in Aspen. Aspen? I'd never even been skiing in my life. They'd used my login, my auto-filled card, essentially my identity. I screenshotted everything. Then I dug up the family group chat from 2 years ago, the one where Emma begged me to help consolidate her debt, just for 3 months. It had been 31 months. Silence, I realized, had turned into active sabotage. On Christmas night, I posted something. Not public yet, just a closed friend story with the refund confirmation and the caption. Turns out I wasn't as invisible as they thought. By the next morning, my phone was buzzing again, but this time, from unexpected allies. Cousin Leo, hey man, I had no idea they didn't invite you. That's messed up. I only came 'cause they said you couldn't make it. Aunt Marianne, you were paying for all of this? I thought your mom and dad covered the house. I'm shocked. But the real gold came from Zach, Emma's boyfriend, the tag-along prince. He texted me, nervous at first. Then he dropped the bomb. Dude, I didn't know about any of this. I thought you were just staying back for work. Emma said you volunteered to cover the Airbnb. Then she said you didn't like being around people anymore. That you were fragile. Fragile. The same word Dad had used last year after I told him I was burned out from work. Fragile boys don't last long in real life, he'd said. Zach called that evening, his voice shaky. He told me everything. Emma had been planning this perfect family trip since October. Her words, Christmas rebrand. New vibe. New family structure. No drama. Which, apparently, meant no me. She told Zach she'd handle the Airbnb. Then she let it slip to Mom that I'd volunteered to cover it. She never added me to the travel doc. Never invited me to the planning Zooms. You just get in the way, she'd told Zach, according to him. You ruin the mood. He even tried to push back, he said. Told her I should be included. And Emma's reply? Don't worry. He's used to being left out. He won't even notice. I hung up without saying a word. That night, I started a new folder on my laptop. I called it Used. Screenshots, emails, Emma's Instagram stories, Amazon invoices, Airbnb charges, old messages where they told me I was part of the family, but always the last to know, the first to pay. Then I opened a new tab, typed $12,500 Airbnb chargeback plus fraud, and started on my next step. They thought I was gone. They thought I'd sulk in silence, retreat to my tiny apartment with half-finished puzzles and unspoken grudges, and let them celebrate without interruption. They were so wrong. Because while they were out hiking snow trails and smiling for photos in coordinated flannels, I was 10 steps ahead. And I knew exactly where they were. How? Because Emma, brilliant strategist that she was, had forgotten that my Spotify account was still logged into her phone. My premium account. No ads, unlimited skips. But more importantly, it showed me her GPS pin. I watched her move across the map in real time. The cabin, the store, the trails, and then the Christmas dinner reservation. 7 p.m. Mountain Hearth Lodge, Aspen Room. I booked a table. Same lodge. 1 hour earlier. I packed my laptop, the used folder, a thick stack of every printed transaction from my card, and my phone, queued up with all the screenshots. I threw on a suit I hadn't worn since my last job interview and drove up the mountain. Just me, the engine, and the simmering fury. 7 p.m. The Aspen Room. They were already seated, tables pushed together. 17 people. The real family. My seat, of course, was empty. I watched from across the room for a moment. Mom, smiling nervously. Dad, pouring wine like a senator. Emma, glued to her phone, probably checking likes on her blessed Christmas post. Zach looked utterly miserable. Then I walked over. Dead quiet. Forks froze midair. Someone, I think Aunt Julia, muttered. Oh no. Hey everyone, I said cheerfully. I heard we were doing Christmas dinner. No one spoke. Emma finally blurted out. This is not your reservation. I smiled. Actually, it is. You're sitting under my name. The one that paid for the lodge package. Check the receipt. Dad stood up. You're making a scene, he hissed. No, I said. I'm making a point. I pulled out my laptop, opened the used folder, and turned the screen toward their stunned faces. Let's take a look, shall we? I began. The moment it all fell apart. First, the Airbnb invoice. My name. My card. $12,500. Then the refund confirmation, time-stamped. And then, Emma's text. He's really not here. OMG, our plan worked. Emma tried to speak, but I held up a hand. Then we have the Amazon orders. Hiking gear. Ski boots. Emma's new parka. All on my Prime. Next. Netflix. Spotify. Uber. All me. I turned to my parents. And here, I said, holding up printouts, are your grocery delivery receipts. The ones you said came from your pension? Funny. This card says otherwise. Then I pulled out the final sheet. A single, printed screenshot. It was Emma's private story. He's finally out. Can't believe it took this long. Dead silence. Mom looked like she'd swallowed glass. Dad's jaw was clenched so tight I thought he might crack a tooth. Zach. Zach stood up slowly, cleared his throat, and said, yeah, I'm done. Emma gasped, what? You're seriously? He held up a hand, stopping her cold. I tried to give you the benefit of the doubt, Emma. But this is cruel. You used him. You lied to all of us. And for what? A photo op. She stammered. You don't understand. I understand enough, he snapped. I'm not staying another night in that cabin. You people are impossible. Aunt Marianne whispered to Mom. Uncle Leo said aloud. I didn't know you were paying for all this, man. I thought you just didn't want to come. Dad finally exploded. This is exactly why we didn't invite you. You always act like a victim, always trying to make people feel guilty. I stepped closer, my voice low but cutting. No, I said. I act like someone who's tired of paying for the privilege of being ignored. Then I pulled out the final thing. A portable speaker. I hit play. Emma's voice, clear as glass, filled the room. Don't worry, he's used to being left out. He won't even notice. It was a voice memo, sent to Zach a month ago, saved automatically. Emma lunged forward. Turn it off. I turned it up. Mom stood. Please, we can talk about this. No, I said. Talking time is over. I pulled out a small business card. Simple, clean font. It read, this dinner was paid for by the one you left behind. Bon appetit. I placed it in the center of the table, closed my laptop, and walked out. Behind me, I heard chairs scrape, a plate clatter, someone muttering, Jesus Christ. Outside, the snow had just begun to fall. By the time I got back to the city, my story was already echoing through the cracks. Zach had driven straight home after dinner and made a short, powerful post. Sometimes you find out too late that the people closest to you are capable of orchestrating cruelty like it's a holiday plan. He didn't name anyone. He didn't have to. People connected the dots. Fast. The next morning, I went public. I posted a thread. No dramatic caption. Just this. They left for the big family trip. 4 cars, 17 people, and 1 group chat without me. I woke up alone in the house I paid for. 2 hours later, I got a message meant for someone else. He's really not here. OMG, our plan worked. So, I canceled the $12,500 booking. And then I pressed play on the truth. Underneath were screenshots of transactions, the voice memo, the messages, the lodge receipt, and my final dinner table photo. 17 people frozen in silence while I walked away. It blew up. Thousands of likes, retweets, comments, DMs. People shared their own stories. The sibling who always took. The parents who manipulated with guilt. The relatives who only remembered your name when the rent was due. Someone wrote, you didn't just cancel Christmas. You reclaimed it. Mom messaged me that evening. Please delete that post. People are calling. We're embarrassed. This wasn't supposed to go public. Then, your father says you've gone too far. He's thinking of talking to a lawyer. Then, Emma hasn't stopped crying. I didn't respond. The next day, Emma messaged too. Just one line. You ruined everything. I finally replied. No, Emma. I revealed it. On December 26th, I uploaded a video. Just me. 1 chair, white background, calm voice. I didn't want to do this. I said. But you made me the villain before I even knew there was a script. You planned a trip with my money, without my name, then laughed when I wasn't there. So here's the truth. Not for revenge, but for the record. I laid it all out. The silent years of being the dependable one. The way they'd used me, excluded me, then tried to gaslight me into silence. I played the voice memo. I ended with this. If you're watching this and you've ever been the one left behind, here's your sign. It's not your fault. It's theirs. The video hit 3 million views in a week. They tried to save face. Dad posted a half-baked apology on Facebook. Families fight, but real men don't air dirty laundry. Uncle Leo commented, should have just invited him. Emma tried to pivot, of course. She posted an Instagram story with a black screen. People change when you stop letting them manipulate you. I see clearly now. I laughed out loud. She really tried to rebrand herself as the victim of my story. Then something strange happened. 3 of my younger cousins, the quiet ones, the overlooked ones, messaged me separately. Each said a version of the same thing. Thank you for saying what we couldn't. One even said, I saw myself in your video. I thought I was crazy. Now I know I'm not. That hit me harder than anything else. It wasn't just my story. It was a blueprint for getting out. Then came another email from a law firm. Not for me. For them. Apparently, Emma had used my name and financial details on a health insurance application to get better coverage. Fraudulent. Traceable. Legal consequences pending. No more silent generosity. On New Year's Eve, I posted one final story. A photo of my apartment, cozy, clean. A glass of wine on the windowsill. Caption, this year, I unwrapped the truth, and it was better than anything I ever got under the tree. No likes from family. Only hearts from strangers, and a few allies I never knew I had. I spent the night watching fireworks alone, and I've never felt more free. On January 3rd, I changed my number. No warning. No goodbye texts. No just in case you need me. I let it die like a forgotten voicemail on a phone nobody charges anymore. I watched the last few messages come in like clockwork. Emma, are you really going to erase all of us? Dad, you made your point. Now act like a man and fix this. Mom, you're still my son. That matters more than anything, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. Because what I finally understood, what burned through every leftover excuse in my chest, is that I was never included by love. I was included by utility. The second I stopped paying, stopped absorbing, stopped apologizing, I was no longer family. I was noise. A problem. A threat to their narrative. I didn't ghost them. I outgrew them. I signed the lease on a new place. Downtown, 27th floor, south-facing windows. No spare bedrooms. No couch large enough for anyone to crash on. The first thing I unpacked was the photo of me at the dinner. The moment just before I walked away from that table of 17. I framed it. Hung it in the hallway. Not as a trophy. As a reminder. Never beg to be where they don't want you. On January 8th, I got a letter. Real paper. Stamped envelope. From my parents' lawyer. Our clients are concerned about reputational damage. They request that you remove any public-facing posts and issue a clarifying statement indicating that your social media material is fictionalized. It was laughable. So, I responded, my material is factual, documented, and protected. If you proceed, discovery will include bank records, text archives, voice memos, and eyewitnesses. Also, good luck with the fraud investigation into Emma's insurance claim. That one wasn't even my report. I never heard from that lawyer again. I built something bigger than revenge. Within 6 weeks of going public, I'd been invited to guest on 3 podcasts, 1 panel on toxic family dynamics, and a documentary shoot in Toronto. I turned most of them down. But I did one, the first one. The host asked me, what do you say to people who tell you blood is thicker than water? I smiled, looked straight into the camera, and said, then don't be surprised when your own family tries to drown you. And then came the sign. Literally. I opened a small co-working space on the edge of the city. Creative types. Freelancers. People who'd clawed their way out of messes and needed somewhere to rebuild. I called it Not Included. And under the name, in smaller text, a place for the ones who got left off the invite. On opening day, I taped something to the front desk. A printout of that first message from Emma. He's really not here. OMG, our plan worked. Framed under glass, with one sentence typed below. And now I am. I don't miss them. I miss who I pretended they were. Sometimes people ask me if I've forgiven them. I tell them I've released them. That's not the same thing. I don't hate them. I don't wish them harm. I just don't carry them anymore. I don't answer unknown numbers. I don't check old threads. I don't walk past mirrors and wonder what I could have done differently. Because the truth is, I did everything right, and they still chose to leave without me. My last words to them were quiet, but final. Christmas card season came early this year. I printed just one, sent it to my parents' house. Inside, a photo of me in front of the not included sign. No caption, no return address, just one sticky note tucked inside. It read, "Next time, try paying for your own vacation." I wasn't forgotten. I was erased, but I turned it into a billboard. And now they get to drive past it every single day. But they don't get to come inside. Not anymore.